Ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready for some fantasy hockey streaming advice, it's time for the most styling, profiling, wheeling and dealing, jet flying, limousine riding podcast in all the land. It's the reigning, defending, undisputed fantasy hockey streaming champion of the world. It's the Stream Scheme.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the greatest fantasy hockey podcast that focuses on streaming players for the upcoming week. It's the Stream Scheme. We won't be talking about your superstars like your Mika Zibanejad or your Artemi Panarin here. No sirree, Bob. Here we get down to the nitty-gritty, the dark depths of fantasy hockey that those other podcasts are too scared to touch. The Stream Scheme is presented by the greatest fantasy hockey podcast in the world, Keeping Karlsson, and often referred to the greatest league in the world, the Keeping Karlsson Ultimate Patron Fantasy League, aka the Cupful. Hopefully everyone is coming off a week 1 win. Not me. My team stink once again, and time is a flat circle. It's weeks like these where streaming can be tough because how can I focus on streamers when I need to use all of my weekly ads to pick up people who I might need to stick on my team potentially all year long? And that's a question I'm seeing a lot, right? Early in the season, how do you use your weekly ads between streamers, players you want to hold, and even just filling out your roster from injuries? And it depends on a lot, right? First, just to keep things consistent, I'm going to say for our purposes here, you only get 4 player ads each week. Very rarely should you ever spend all 4 of those ads on streamers right off the bat, even though in weeks like this, it may be very tempting to get those underperforming players off your team as quick as possible. However, I would typically say to only use half, or in this case, just use 2 picks a week on streamers. I try to keep 1 ad for injuries and 1 ad for someone that might all of a sudden be in a great deployment and I need to hop on that player right away before someone else snags him up. Now, of course, maybe no one on your team gets injured and maybe no one on the waiver wire catches your eye throughout the week, so Saturday, Sunday comes around and still got those 2 weekly ads burning a hole in your pocket. That's not a bad thing. Hopefully, whenever that happens, you're in a matchup where you're either going to easily win or even easily lose. That way you can spend those ads to get some streamers for next week before most people even have a chance to. So basically, just don't go crazy on Monday. You'll probably need a couple of ads that aren't just for streamers throughout the week. But before we can get to the picks of the week, first we have to see how our picks did last week because we are all about accountability here on the Stream Scheme. Kaapo Kakko. I'll tell you what, this was not looking too good after the Rangers' first game where Kakko only had 13 minutes of ice time with just 1 hit and 1 block to his stat sheet. But kudos to Kakko for turning his week around with a dazzling goal to go along with 7 shots, 4 hits, and 4 blocks for the week. So that makes Kakko an easy win for this week. So not only is Kakko no longer dead to us, heck, I think you got to hold on to him at this point. I mean, if you can, that is. The Rangers do only play 3 times this upcoming week with only 1 light day game in there. So if you got to drop Kakko, I won't hold it against you, but he's now seeing about 16 minutes of ice time a night, and as long as he can keep that up and stick to that Zibanejad and Kreider line, then I would certainly hold on to Kaapo Kakko. Max Domi, pretty close one here. Domi had 1 goal on 5 shots, 2 hits, and a block over 3 games. So, I mean, that's 8 cupful points over 3 games. Slightly less than generally what we'd like to see. You know what? I'll give Domi the benefit of the doubt here and give him a win for the week because the process was correct here. He's still on the top line, top power play. The Blackhawks just got shut out by Vegas, and then somehow that top line and top power play was held scoreless as well against San Jose. I think the moral of the story for this Domi pick is that we just shouldn't trust Chicago this year. Like, they're going to be bad. Like, I'm already feeling bad about pumping up Patrick Kane in the offseason, but well, at least we shouldn't trust Chicago until the next time they have a good streaming schedule. This will probably get thrown out the window, but yeah, either way, Chicago only plays twice next week, so you can safely drop Max Domi. Evgeny Dadonov, no denying this one here. My Dadonov pick, plain old stunk. Hand up. I got fooled by some preseason lines that Dadonov was just filling in on because of an injury. These things will happen when we're picking streamers without any actual games played yet. But hey, we knew that going in. I'll take the loss here on Evgeny Dadonov, and you can definitely drop it. Jesperi Kotkaniemi saw the deployment on the second line in Carolina and about 16 minutes of ice time a game that we did expect, and Kotkaniemi did get an assist, but just 2 shots in 1 block over 2 games for him, so it was close. But hey, for those that are new to the show, I may be tough, but I'm also fair, so I'll call this one a loss for the week since we gave Domi to win there in a close one, so we like to keep it even here. But Kotkaniemi certainly wasn't a bad pick by any means. The process was correct there by Mr. Weeb, so I don't want to hear any chirps about this pick. Capiche? With that said, yeah, you can definitely drop Kotkaniemi, as Carolina has a bad schedule next week, playing 3 times on all of the busy days. Victor Arvidsson got injured this week, so a lesser man might go ahead and take the free pass here since I do have an excuse not to take the loss. But I can't deny this one because after he got injured and missed the game, Arvidsson did come back, and when he did, he couldn't even get a point when everyone was scoring in that awesome Kings and Wild game on Saturday. And if you can't get a point when your team scores 7 goals, I don't want you on my fantasy team. Sorry. I have to draw the line there, so you can safely drop Victor Arvidsson. Moving on to my defensive streamers, Mike Matheson also got injured, or maybe he was already injured. They just didn't announce it whenever I made this pick, those jerks, because this was no small injury. Matheson is on IR and out for a while, so hopefully you can stick Matheson on your IR, but if you can't, then you can definitely drop Matheson. Adam Boqvist and Erik Cernak, I'm going to lump them together here. They both stink. We knew this going in. So 2 clear losses for both Boqvist and Cernak, but hopefully no one was actually desperate enough that they had to pick up a couple of low-end defensive streamers like that the very first week. But yeah, needless to say, a loss here both for Boqvist and Cernak. My Shallow League streamer of the week, Jakub Voracek. What a huge disappointment. I mean, a clear loss here on the week for Voracek. He didn't do a darn thing for us. Hopefully, we can avoid the losing streaks on our Shallow League streamers like we had last year. But I'll just chalk this one up to bad luck with the Line A injury. They shifted the power play around because of that, and Voracek ended up losing his spot there. Oh well, you can drop Voracek now, though, for sure. Our goalie streamer of the week, Alex Nedeljkovic, one of the few streamers who gave a darn about us this week. I knew this pick was going to hit as soon as Husso put up that shutout on Friday. The Ned sled rolls over for no man, and I knew he was going to put up a good fight and a good showing on Saturday, which he did, just giving up 2 goals and 37 saves and the win for him. The Red Wings might be good this year. Definitely excited to watch them play, but as far as Nedeljkovic goes, yeah, it's going to be a full-on 50-50 timeshare in Detroit for a while, bearing any injuries, so I would say that you can still drop Nedeljkovic. My first ludicrous streamer of the week was Sean Mon. Sean Monahan had a winning week for us with a goal, 9 shots, and 2 hits over 3 games. And Sean Mon, while not getting primo deploymento, was still getting pretty good deploymento on that second line and is on the top power play as well in Montreal. And I'm not going to lie, I actually added him myself in a league or two because I love Sean Mon, and I was like, hey, he's back, baby! And he's still seeing great minutes and top power play in Montreal, but I think I need to cool my jets on Monahan just a little bit because Montreal does have a bad schedule next week, just 3 games on all busy days. So it sounded good at the time, but looking at his schedule this next week, I think we can all safely drop Sean Monahan, but keep him on your watch list. You might want to pick him up that week after. So overall, we went 2 for 5 on our regular forward streamers, 0 for 2 on defensive streamers, 0 for 1 on our shallow league streamer, but we did hit our goalie streamer of the week and went 1 for 2 on our ludicrous streamers. So you can call that a win for our ludicrous streamers, but bringing our weekly total to 4 and 7 on the week. So a clear loss here for the stream scheme this week. But like we said last week, we kind of had a feeling that might be the case going in, seeing as how streamers are so dependent on line deployment and time on ice. It's tough for us to pick winners without any actual games yet. But hey, no excuses here on the stream scheme, of course. I'm just saying that if we were to have an excuse, we'd happen to have a pretty darn good one. But we shall not be discouraged, and neither should you if you find yourself 0-1 after week 1, because now that games have actually been played, we're much more confident in our streamer picks to give you this week to help turn that ship around. So enough pitter-patter, let's get at her. Let's get to the schedules for the upcoming week, starting on Monday, October 17th, 2022. On Monday, we have 18 clubs playing. A little busy Monday for us. 16 clubs play on Tuesday, 6 clubs playing on Wednesday, 24 clubs play on Thursday, 6 clubs playing on Friday, 26 clubs play on the heavy Saturday, and lastly, 10 clubs play on the last day of the weekly matchup, Sunday, October 23rd. The best schedule of the week is a tie between the Florida Panthers and the Seattle Kraken. Both of those teams play 4 times this week on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, which is not a Streamagami, unfortunately. So no Streamagami music today, and that is because astute Stream Scheme listeners will know that Monday, while typically a slow day, is indeed a busy day this week with 18 clubs playing on that day. So don't just pick up a streamer and assume that they'll start all 4 of those games for you this week without checking your lineups each day first. But still, each of the Panthers and the Kraken play 4 times this week with 3 off days, so still very good. Some other teams with good schedules this week are the Philadelphia Flyers, who also play 4 times with 3 light days, but do play on the heavy Saturday. We also have the Ducks, the Blue Jackets, the Avalanche, the Islanders, and the Sharks, who all play 4 times this week with 2 light days in there, so I like players from all those teams this week. The worst schedule of the week goes to the St. Louis Blues again somehow, as the Blues only play 2 times this week, with one of those games being on the heavy Saturday. Tough way for Blues managers to start out the season, but hey, look on the bright side. Your Blues will be the leader in the clubhouse for games played remaining after this week. And hey, why not target some Blues players on those 0-2 teams in your leagues, for trades? Perhaps a manager that isn't paying that close attention to their team will just look at the low point totals and not necessarily, hopefully, the games played. So worth a shot at the very least. Some other teams with a bad schedule this week are the Chicago Blackhawks, who only played 2 games this week. We've also got the Coyotes, the Hurricanes, the Stars, the Wild, the Canadiens, the Penguins, the Maple Leafs, and the Capitals, all who play 3 times this week on all of the busy days of Monday, Thursday, and the heavy Saturday. So drop those fringe players with bad schedules and get ready to pick up some streamers with good schedules in their place. And if you guys are torn on whether to drop someone this early, I'm always down to give you guys advice on ads, drops, trades, whatever the case may be. Always feel free to hit me up on Twitter at NHL Stream Scheme, and I'm usually pretty quick with a response for you over there. So without further ado, let's get to the picks of the week. My top forward pick of the week is a slam dunk. It's Travis Konecny of the Philadelphia Flyers, and since that pick is chalk, I'll also lump my second forward pick of the week here as well, his teammate Kevin Hayes. These picks are very easy. Konecny, like I said, is a chalk pick. I typically don't like, talking about names that you're going to hear on every single podcast. But hey, at 25% rostered, Konecny is technically within streamer range, so I'd be remiss if I didn't mention him here. I won't spend too much time on him. He's an easy pick he's got points, periffs, deployment, ice time, whatever you want. Konecny has got it. So prevent your league from becoming a clown league and pick up Travis Konecny. And don't forget about Kevin Hayes as well. If someone else has already scooped up Konecny, Hayes is pretty much in the exact same situation as him. It's just that Konecny has the goals and Hayes has the assists. So Hayes doesn't get quite as much attention, only 3% rostered right now, which is crazy low, but I like Hayes as much as Konecny this week. Hayes is also getting that primo deploymento down there in Philly, playing on both the top line and top power play as well, seeing heavy minutes each night. And not just all that, but the Flyers also happen to have one of the best schedules of the week, playing 4 times with 3 light days in there as well. So pick up not just Travis Konecny this week, but don't forget about Kevin Hayes as well. My third forward streamer pick this week is Ryan Strome of the Anaheim Ducks. 3 points in 2 games already for Ryan Strome, and I think he's going to be involved in a lot of the scoring that Anaheim will be able to do this year. Now, Ryan Strome isn't necessarily on the top line in Anaheim just because he's also a center, so he's not really going to skate with Zegras a lot on even strength, but regardless of whom he is skating alongside at even strength, we know that Ryan Strome will be a guarantee to see heavy minutes and also be a fixture on that top power play in Anaheim as well. I was very surprised to see that Ryan Strome is still only 19% rostered right now, which is pretty nuts if you ask me, especially on a week when Anaheim has a great schedule. They play 4 times this week with 2 light days as well. So if he's still there in your league, I would absolutely scoop up Ryan Strome. And to round out our regular forward streamer picks this week, I've got another team pair for you. For my 4th and 5th forward picks this week, I've got Jaden Schwartz and Alex Wennberg of the Seattle Kraken. In that order, mind you, I'd rather have Jaden Schwartz. He has no more points, he shoots a lot more, and even has a good amount of hits as well. They're both skating on the top line for the Kraken, which include each other and Bjorkstrand as well. The power play is a little weird for the Kraken currently. Not only are they splitting their power play in 2, but even though Bjorkstrand, Wennberg, and Schwartz are skating together at even strength, they split them up on the power play. Makes no sense, but whatever. Either way, I'll take the power play that has Bjorkstrand on it, and that's the one that Wennberg is on, so that helps make up for his lack of shooting a little bit, but both guys are great options this week. Schwartz is a little bit higher at just all the way up at 4% rostered. And Wennberg is a bonus ludicrous streamer this week at 1% rostered right now. And they both have a great schedule, playing 4 times with 3 light days this week. So pick up Jaden Schwartz and Alex Wennberg. Moving on to defense, my top defensive streamer pick of the week is Brandon Montour of the Florida Panthers. My second defensive streamer is Justin Schultz of the Seattle Kraken. And my final defensive streamer is Alexander Romanov of the New York Islanders. Brandon Montour is an easy one. Pretty chalk pick as far as defensive pickups in general go for this week, not just streamers. Montour happens to fit the bill for both this week, as not only does he have a great schedule, but even if he didn't have a great schedule, you'd still want to pick him up as he's getting top power play time in Florida. He's still just 14% rostered, so do your part in preventing your league from being a clown league and pick up Brandon Montour. Justin Schultz is also getting top power play time in Kraken, although as I just talked about for a couple forwards there, Seattle are splitting their power play in two currently, but I would rather have the power play that has Bjorkstrand, and Schultz is currently heading that group. He has 3 points in 3 games already for Schultz to go along with some periffs as well, and like I said, Seattle's got a good schedule this week. Yet, he's only rostered in 6% of leagues, so pick up Justin Schultz. And Alexander Romanov, the brand new York Islander, is worth a pickup this week as well. Romanov has recently been making a claim to be our new blocks savant, as he's put up 14 blocks in just his first 2 games. Romanov also hits a good bit as well. He doesn't shoot that much, but when the Islanders play 4 times with 2 games on light days, mind you, we're just hoping that Romanov can pile up enough periffs for us to make this pick be a winner. He is a little bit on the higher end of rostered at 13% currently, just because I think obviously people in those Cats leagues are quickly scooping this guy up, but if he is there, I would certainly approve of picking up Alexander Romanov this week. My Shallow League streamer of the week is Matty Beniers of the Seattle Kraken. And yeah, sure, he's at the absolute limit of being a Shallow League streamer at 49% rostered right now. But technically it still counts, and I need a Shallow League streamer that I can count on this week. After that Voracek debacle last week, I completely forgot how difficult it can be to pick a Shallow League streamer, and I cannot start 0-2 in that department. So I'm calling in Beniers, who I can trust to come through for me, I hope at least. Even if he's not necessarily top line, even if he's not necessarily top power play for that matter, I don't care. I love Matty Beniers. He's gonna get his no matter who he's playing with. And as we mentioned 3 previous times already this week for the other Kraken that we're picking, they have a great schedule this week, so if he's still there in any league, I would definitely pick up Matty Beniers. My goalie streamer of the week is an easy one. It's Jake Allen of the Montreal Canadiens. Look, hey, you want goalie streamers of the week that aren't layups like this one? Then you need to do your part in not making your league a clown league and pick up Jake Allen so that we can get him up over that 50% roster threshold, because Jake Allen is only being rostered in 28% of leagues right now, which is just a joke. An absolute clown show mockery is what it is, and I will not stand for it. Now, with that being said, let's not forget one big thing here. All goalies, of course, are bad. Even though it makes all the sense in the world to pick up Jake Allen, he very well could get lit up against the Pens, and then maybe they let the backup play against Arizona, and then maybe Jake Allen could very well get rocked against Dallas as well. He's not a sure thing this week by any means, but still, one very true fact remains. Your league is a clown league if Jake Allen is a free agent. So for the love of Moose Vasco, please pick up Jake Allen. And lastly, the only streamers you'll find exclusively here on the Stream Scheme, some ludicrous streamers. Let's get it.
Prepare ship for ludicrous speed. Fasten all seatbelts. Seal all entrances and exits. Close all shops in the mall. Cancel the 3-ring circus. Secure all animals in the zoo.
Give me that, you petty excuse for an officer. Now hear this. Ludicrous speed.
Sir, had you better buckle up?
Now buckle this. Ludicrous speed. Go!
My ludicrous streamers for the week are Gustav Nyquist of the Columbus Blue Jackets and Rudolph Balzers of the Florida Panthers. Gustav Nyquist finds himself in a great spot currently in Columbus. Obviously, Laine went down with an injury. Originally, Justin Danforth had the first crack at it. That didn't last very long. Now they've turned to the veteran and Nyquist, and he has produced 2 goals in his last 2 games for Nyquist, with 3 shots in each of those games as well. So short sample size, sure. 100% line dependent, sure. But while he's skating with Johnny Hockey and getting great ice time, I want in on it, especially on a week when the Blue Jackets have a great schedule, playing 4 times with 2 light days in there. He's only being rostered in 2% of leagues right now, so pick up Gustav Nyquist. And for Rudolph Balcers, it's just a matter of line deployment for him. He's currently playing at even strength in Florida with Sam Bennett and Matty Tkachuk, and I think that will be all he needs in order to luck into a couple of points this week. Now, of course, as a ludicrous streamer, there's typically a reason for being so, and in this case, Balcers has yet to score any points. He doesn't shoot a ton, and even though he's on Florida's second line, Balcers is not seeing a lot of ice time as well. But hey, if you're in a deep league and need a streamer, Balcers at least has a better opportunity than most, and he has a great schedule, playing 4 times this week with 3 light days in there as well, and he's only 1% rostered right now. So pick up Rudolph Balcers. So there we have it. To recap our streamers for the week starting on Monday, October 17th, 2022 are the following. Forward streamers Travis Konechny, Kevin Hayes, Ryan Strome, Jaden Schwartz, and Alex Wenberg. Defensive streamers Brandon Montour, Justin Schultz, and Alexander Romanov. Our Shallow League streamer of the week, Matty Beniers. Our goalie streamer of the week, Jake Allen. And our ludicrous streamers of the week, Gustav Nyquist and Rudolph Balcers. Good luck to everyone this week. Feel free to hit me up on the Keeping Karlsson Patron Discord server. Check out the Stream Scheme channel over there. Or you can find me on Twitter at NHL Stream Scheme. And make sure to follow Ben and Lewis at Short Shifts KK. And obviously at Keeping Karlsson. And tune in to their Megapod every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you everyone for listening, and don't forget what the legendary Moose Vasco once said: the future belongs to those who believe in their stream. See ya!